Hello, 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 hello. It's me again. I'm back. I'm back. I was away for a while. Yeah, I was away for a while, but now I'm back. It's good to be back. Look at me with my familiar background, which I've never changed yet. I still think it's a cool background. Maybe I'll get around to changing it. Anyway, it seems like I'm in good spirits right now, but I'm actually I don't know, I'm in a mix of emotions right now. I guess I'm both excited for the future. Um I'm both excited for the future, reflective of the past, and focused on the present. I think that's a good way to be. I think it's good to be focused on the present. I was I was going through a time where I was really resetting myself and really getting back into the swing of things, getting back into a good mindset, I'd say. I think so. I have a bad tendency to kind of, as an athlete, go way too hard with things, turn things up to the maximum difficulty, do things at the hardest possible level. I signed up for the hardest possible major, the hardest possible athletic activity. Oh, what's this? What the heck? Wait a second. I have something in chat. I don't know what that is. Is that a bot? I don't know what that is. I don't know. Anyway, that's funny. There's someone in my chat called Organbot or Organobot. Please don't robot me. Please don't bot me. I'll never recover from it. Are you watching me right now? Oh man, this just became way more nerve-wracking knowing that someone's watching me. Oh no. Oregano bot. You're gonna like robot attack me? You're gonna bot me? Don't bot me. Okay. Well, person in chat who I definitely don't know. Yeah. Person in chat who I definitely don't know. I am going to proceed with my stream as if nothing is amiss. As if nothing is amiss. I don't get what you're referencing. I know oregano is something you eat, right? It's like a food. It's like a topping, right? But why the bot? Why are you roboting oregano? Okay, well. Anyway. Oh, wait. This is a good opportunity. I can ask the person in my chat, how are things going? Am I, like, lagging? Is the connection super bad? Like, how is it going? Wait. Can I make this wider? Oh, I can. No, it's not a red because they... Well, it's what? It's my species. Your robot species. Okay, well, anyway, how is this stream? Is it like lagging? Is it like messing up? Can you like see me moving? Or is it super laggy? On my end, it's a little bit laggy. Can you type something else? Or not? The chat that I have here, it might have tapped out. Well, anyway. Wait, off Swift. Oh, there it goes. You have a low FPS, but your VOD quality is really good. Now you're more... Okay, it's moving. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. So it is alright. At least now that I have someone watching. Someone who I definitely don't know at all. I can get some feedback on what a live performance looks like. Because I've never had that before. By the way, how does my voice sound through the mic? How does it sound? Does it sound good? How does it sound? Oh, man. So, I use Linux for everything, which tends to make everything much, much harder. Well, once you get a mastery of it, you get a better understanding of everything, and you can do things at a higher level that you can't do on like a normal computer. But it does make things a lot harder. It's a higher skill. It's a higher skill cap, I guess. Oh, it sounds good, huh? Yeah. Okay. Let's calm down here. Let's calm down. Okay, so today okay, look. Today I just wanted to go over like this troll problem. So I'll switch the room. Actually, for some reason my computer seems to be working very well right now. Maybe because it's nice and cold. Maybe because it's just that time of year. It just seems to be working. Like usually it's lagging much more than this. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe I got hit with an update or something. But yeah, it's working pretty well. But I could switch the room. Well, before I do that, person in chat, is there anything you would like to say? Something that isn't too doxing? Please. Are you still there? Are you still there? Are you busy? I guess you're at the airport, right? Well, regardless. What were my thoughts again? My thoughts. Oh yes, I was just explaining that as an athlete, I tend to do things at the highest possible level. So like, when I sit down to a weight machine or something, I'll just flip it to like the highest possible weight, the highest possible weight level. Or when I go out for a run, I'll tend to like run way too far. I want to go way up to the top of that mountain, and it's way too far. But I don't care because I want to do it. And, I choose like the hardest major. I choose the hardest of everything. And so my struggle has been actually to hold myself back and do things at more moderation, a level of moderation, and just to have more control over myself, because I'm often like breaking things and like just it's like that song. Oh man, I shouldn't start singing. I've been told my singing voice is not the best, but it's like that song, Over the Top. I'm over the top. Oh, wait. Hey, person in chat. Are you still... Oh, yeah, it looks like you left. Yeah, okay, it looks like you left. Yeah, so my chat box is a little bit funky, so I can't actually see the full... like, people's full comments. I can only... It's, like, cut off halfway, so I can only read, like, half the comment. So I have to, like, interpret what they're saying based on half the comment. I could try to, like, mess around with that. How do I... Well, I don't want to just mess around with UI elements all day long, because that's boring. So yeah. So, back to the topic at hand, was that I need to take vacations. This is something that I need to force myself to do. I need to actually force myself to take vacations, because I've noticed that after a vacation, I'm very much more reset. I'm very much more, focused and in my zone. I become very much more well put together, more organized, more timely, more mentally healthy. Just, I need vacations as a time to like reflect on things and take a different course if I can. And so it's something that I have to force myself to do, because it's something that doesn't really come naturally to me, or something that I don't normally want to do, but I have to kind of force myself to do. And I've been learning that over time. Initially I thought like, well, I could just go without vacations, because I'm super strong. I could just go without vacations. I don't need them. Who needs those, But you really do need those, It's just something that you need. And there's no getting around it. You are who you are, and you got to know your limitations. You got to know what you can do and what's best for you. And yeah, so, but now that the vacation's over, I got to go hard. I got to go all out. That's what I'm going to start doing. And that includes, live streaming every day. So I'm going to try to do it every day if I can. I might miss a day or two here or there. Yeah. So anyway, to the problem. There it goes. Now it has my voice. So, this is the troll problem. This is the troll problem that everyone was circulating recently. That everyone was making a big deal about. I just thought I'd give my thoughts about it. So, what's the issue here? Well, everyone would say, well, this one has a radius of 1. This one has a radius of 3, right? So A has a radius of 1, B has a radius of 3. And because the diameter, or the circumference, I should say, is directly proportional to the radius, right? So the circumference is 2 pi r, and this one's 2 pi r. So that means that because the circumference of the radius of this is 1/3 the radius of this, that means the circumference of this must be 1/3 the circumference of this, because they're directly proportional, right? And so you could just do that. You could do, let me get my pen here. You could just do, this one, the circumference here is circumference 1 is going to be pi 2 pi times r, which will be 1. And the circumference here would be, 2 pi times 3. Because, as you can see, because the circumference is directly proportional to the radius, this will just be 3/1, which will be 3. And so that's like a simple mathematical relation. It makes a lot of sense. But there's an issue here. The issue here is the geometry of this. Right? This is, of course. Let me get my layers correct. So the issue here, everyone wants to circle 3, right? It's sort of like, when you're going through these problems, you're going through like 100 of these problems, you just blindly circle 3, because you could just see it like in 3 seconds. Oh, it's directly proportional. 3/1. Oh, it's 3. Boom, circle. But there's an issue here. And so the issue is, like, let's say that this circumference was laid out as a line, right? Make a bigger pen. Was laid out. So this here is this circumference. And then this is going to roll along here, right? So that's the circumference of 1. This is, or that's a radius of 1. Circumference is, let's just call it C1. And this will be the circumference here, which will be C2. It's all stretched out. Well, as this rolls, how many revolutions does it make? Well, you can imagine, like, if this has gear teeth, right? If this has gear teeth, and this has gear teeth, and they like mesh together, then every little inch moved here along here is an inch moved along here. And so it'll make, well, since this line is 3 times as long as the circumference, it'll have to make 3 rotations. And so another way to do that would be, you could also like stretch out this line, right? You could stretch this out as a line and then just lay it end to end. Like lay it end to end here. Where's 1, here's 2, and then you could lay another one here. 3, and you could get 3 rotations to make it across. But you can see there's an issue here. So the issue here is, okay, let's do 1. So this thing, so here's this radius here, right? Let's take a different color. So this marker here, as this orbits, as this turns around, this circle turns, and then this contacts the circle again, right? So here's your circle. Here, it's over here now. And now it contacts over here, and that's like this point here. It's like this point here where it contacts. It's just done 1 revolution, right? But the issue here is that, notice that from the viewer's perspective, it actually still hasn't made a full rotation, right? You still have to rotate, you still have to rotate all the way to here, right? So it has to go all the way to like here to make a full rotation. Actually, hold on. Hold on. 1. What am I? Hold on. I did this a little bit wrong. No. Hold on. This is where I messed up. So it actually gets like to here. Yeah. So, my bad. See, I was messing up. So it actually gets like here. It does a full rotation and it gets like here. And as you can see from the perspective of this line, so this point is like this point here. It's like this right here. And so it's just done 1 full rotation, and now it's pointed directly downward. It's pointed directly towards the center again. It's pointed like directly downwards from the perspective of this line. It's pointed directly downwards. But from the perspective of the viewer, from you, the viewer, it actually pointed downwards back here, right? When it was back here, that's when it pointed directly downwards again, right? Now it's pointing directly. So in other words, although from the perspective of this line, it does 3 rotations when it goes around, right? 1, 2, 3. From the perspective of you, the viewer, it points inwards again here. So this line, if this were like let's say that this was like a spray paint can, and it was spray painting every single time it made contact with this circle. So spray paints, boom, 1 here, boom, 1 here, 1 here. So it'd only do that 3 times. And yet, from the perspective of you, the viewer, this thing has gone in a circle 4 times. It's gone 1 more. And that's because geometrically, the entire circle, the entire shape has actually gone in a circle. Right? Because if this shape goes from here to here and doesn't even rotate, it just like slides, right? Like let's say it doesn't even spin, it just slides. It just slides around. It doesn't even spin. Well, it's gone a full rotation from your perspective. It's twisted once around. And that's just because of the geometry of a circle. Like if you would wrap this around, so that it made a circle, then it would be like it had gone around 1 more time, because 1, 2, 3, although it only touches the boundary of B 3 times, from your perspective it's gone around 4 times, right? Because it's not pointing directly downward here. It's pointed like to the left a bit. So it pointed directly downward when it was like over here, like when it was backwards a bit, like when it was like over here. right? Like over here. Here it's pointing like downwards. But it still hasn't contacted the B yet. It has to get to here to contact B. So that's why. Sort of, in a layman's explanation, why. So now you can sort of visualize why it's the case that it makes 4 instead of 3. So the real answer, of course, is 4. That's why this is like a troll problem. Because this is like... So this was actually on the SAT, I suppose. And... yeah. And so they didn't give you the right answer to choose from. And so it's like, oh, the smart kids got it. Because the smart kids realized it was 4, not 3. And yeah, so the real answer is just going to be, you're going to have to add 1. Just add 1 to whatever the answer you got before. Like, let's say that this was like 1.3 or something. This was like 1.3. And so you'd get 3 over 1.3 is your answer. Would be your answer, right? But like if this was 1.3, but remember you have to add 1 because geometrically it went around in a circle once at least. It the entire shape, just by virtue of the path it took, went around in a circle. It's like it's kind of like it kind of reminds me of what you get in GR, right? So GR is Einsteinian physics. It's like general relativity, right? So in general relativity, you do a lot of conformal mapping. So what you do is you map a flat geometry into a twisted geometry. And that's what that's doing is it's like mapping one space onto another space, and you're trying to create spaces that approximate like a gravitational field, or what a gravitational field would look like. And the reason why you're trying to do that is because in GR you're working with 4 dimensions. It's not just 3 dimensions. You have time is mixed up there. So you have to conformal map 4 dimensions, and you can do that with what are they called? What are they? Tensors. Yeah, tensors. And so there's like a process to do that with tensors that is kind of interesting. You like have, you have your tensor, and your tensor pours into like a mapping tensor. So this has like values in these. It says like V1, value 1, value. Actually, they have like, this is V1-1, 1-2, V1-3, and so on, V2-1. So this is your tensor with all your values. And you could pour it into like a mapping tensor with values here that will like twist, and then you'll get a tensor out that gives you the new geometry. And anyway, that's what you're doing in like Einsteinian physics. And so as far as GR goes, GR seems to be a lot. So Einsteinian physics has 2 realms. It has special relativity and general relativity, right? And special relativity is kind of, I think it's a lot more well thought out. It makes a lot more sense. It's a lot more, it's not intuitive. It would be wrong to call it intuitive, but it's a lot more well thought out. GR is a little bit less well thought out, where it's kind of like we have this concept, right? This concept called a tensor, and we're trying to make it work. We're trying to like twist this tensor into a gravitational space, and we're just trying to make it work. We want to make this thing work, and so it's less of like a hard and fast law of the universe, and it's more like just playing around with geometries. We're just playing around with these geometries, and we want to sort of squeeze these geometries into something that looks like it works. So what they do is they come up with these mapping tensors just so that they look like they work. So we're going to map something so that it looks like it creates something that looks like a gravitational field, right? With the central force, and space is spreading out from there. And yeah, so it's a little bit less like solid. It's more like we're just playing around in MATLAB with geometries and trying to make it work. That was my impression of it that I got from school. I didn't really, it wasn't really my kind of thing. So we did a lot of conformal mapping, and it was very, I don't want to say, in fact, it wasn't that it was unintuitive. It was actually too intuitive. It was too much like we're trying to make something that looks like it works rather than deriving something from first principles, right? Deriving something from the math and from the reasoning, where it's more like we want something that looks right. So we're just going to come up with a conformal map that generates something, a line element that looks like what we observe. Yeah. So I didn't really like GR that much, actually. I thought I would like it a lot more than I did. Oh. Is someone back in chat? I can't read the chat very well. This is like the first time I've had someone in chat, so the window is a little bit like cut off. I don't know what the issue is with that. So maybe I can like reload it, but anyway, I'm like rambling about GR right now because I didn't have much planned for today. I just thought I'd throw this up there and like solve this real fast and try to explain it in my own words, because I didn't prepare a very well, concise and well organized explanation, but this is in my own words how I would explain it. So I've circled this big red 4 here just so that you know it's 4. Not 3. This is wrong. It's wrong. It's right in the sense like that, you know. So a lot of these SAT problems, the way I'd get them right is I actually never studied for the SAT, but I got an extremely high score on the SAT. And the way I got a high score was I put myself in the mindset of the test makers. I was like, if I was a test maker, which would I want to be the right answer, right? Because I'd think like, oh, I'd put this one to throw them off. This one to throw them off. This one to throw them off. So obviously the right answer has to be like this one. And so using that sort of thought process, putting myself in the mindset of the test maker, I could quickly eliminate answers and then come to the right answer. But I didn't trust that. So I'd often solve it anyway, just to confirm that my suspicion was correct. But then later on, I could use that as a heuristic to solve more difficult problems. Because once I understood sort of how the test makers were trying to fake you out with like fake answers, I could zero in on the right answer almost every time. And so that enabled me to solve the much harder problems much quicker. And so I was able to, like the day of the SAT, I just rolled out of bed like any other day. I didn't, sleep properly or eat my vegetables that day or prepare for the test. I was just like any other day. I just rolled out of bed, just went out, took the test, and I got a super high score, and I got into a good school. And I mean, there's a whole story associated with that I'm sure someone knows about, but yeah. Anyway, there's like other troll problems I could go through at some point, but this is the only one I had for today. And so I've just been rambling about it for, about 35 minutes. So why don't I close it up? I wish I could read. Anyway, let's go here. This is my closing screen. I don't have my model for this screen. My model is only for the opening screen, unfortunately. But who knows? Things might improve in the future, Things might improve. So my plan these days is just to stream consistently, like try to stream consistently every day at the same time. And also, I don't really have a plan to market myself as of yet. I just want to use the streaming as like a discipline thing, to like discipline my life, So I'm doing the same thing every day as part of a routine, and it sort of like centers myself, so I don't like go off the rails like I want to do. And yeah, I'm trying to get completely disciplined, completely organized, and just get all my ducks in a row. And I think it's better if you approach things rather than from the perspective of, I want this to be a great success and I want this to like work. From the perspective of, I think this is something that I'm passionate about and this is something that I want to do because I want to do it. You know, so you have pure motivations, pure motivations. And I've approached a lot of things that way, and they turned out quite successfully. And I suppose there's like a difference in this reasoning where it comes to like your job. Like you do need to make money, so you can't just like be willy-nilly when it comes to that. You have to actually be focused on making money and making moves. But I think when it comes to like a passion project, you can afford to be a little bit more willy-nilly and a little bit more loosey-goosey. That's a funny thing to say, right? Loosey-goosey. That's just something I've heard. Yeah, treat it as like a passion. Well, as far as that goes, I've actually, one thing that I'm going to start trying to do is keeping a journal. This is something that I really need to. The fact that I haven't been able to keep a journal is actually like a worrying sign. Like, I think it doesn't really work well with the way my mind works, like doing the same thing every day at the same time every day. But it's something that I just have to do. So I think keeping a journal is another thing that I can use to like center myself and keep my routine on the lock, So that's what I'm going to be doing after this. I'm going to be writing in my journal all the things that I've been doing, all the things that I've been up to. All right. I think I want to ideally shoot for like hour-long streams, but like 45 minutes is good too. Because it takes a lot of time to like set up the stream and stuff, so it's an hour-long job anyway, right? All right, well, signing off, Heaviside